Would you take Leo Chenal at 34?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite players in
Yes.
this draft. He's legit linebacker 1 for me. I am blown away. Like, if you just go to the tape, this guy plays with a heavy motor. Wisconsin was willing to put him wherever. Hey, go shoot the A gap, shoot the C gap. He's got incredible power, and I thought he was going to be this because Wisconsin was very protected scheme wise, coverage wise. Him and Jack Sanborn. So I wasn't really expecting much from coverage, and typically that's not my cup of tea when it comes to linebackers. But the way he tested out leads me to believe he will not be a liability in coverage. And I mean, it was freaky how he tested out. Like, just looking at some of his numbers, like the 40.453, the bench was 34. That's ridiculous. A sub 7-second 3-cone. I mean, at the combine, I think it was like 5 receivers had sub 7-second 3-cones. It was insane. Like, I really think this guy can make it in coverage, and even better, he's going to be a phenomenal run defender and a guy you would like to use as a blitzer as well. So
yeah, I love
with
him.
that
I've
dude.
had him in multiple Lions mock drafts. We need help, definitely, and I think he could be a guy. When we're talking about Alex Calzone as a linebacker, and we got Jared Davis, who we brought back, who is the misguided missile. We need legitimate talent in the middle of this defense to really solidify it, in all honesty. Safety at 2 and 32. Well, Riley Elder, I do not believe we're going Kyle Hamilton at 2. I think that's pretty much out of the question. We signed a veteran yesterday, and I didn't think we are going to get one even Kyle Hamilton at 2 even before then. Why? I just don't. I think they're going to go Kayvon Thibodeau. That is right now we're a negative $5.5 million regarding the edge position on the roster. We're 2 down than we normally do from last year. To me, you go ahead and you draft the edge at 2. It fills the money up, and it adds the edge. They sent 7 scouts and personnel to Kayvon Thibodeau. They've been talking about Kayvon Thibodeau forever here. So I think that's going to be the number 2. At 32, maybe a Jaquan Brisker. That could be a possibility. I'm starting to lean more towards Nakobe Dean, and you'll see that in my up-and-coming draft because we do need help again at the linebacker. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Travis Doyley. How do you guys feel about wide receiver Romeo Doubs to the Lions? How do you feel about him? Because he's interesting. He did pretty good at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, he's I don't want to say bigger receiver. I think he's like 6 foot, but he's about 200 pounds. Doesn't play like it. I'd expect a bit more physicality from him at that size. It's just not. He plays like he's a smaller receiver, though he does have that long field speed to really stack receivers on the or corners on the outside. He's going to be a really good downfield threat. How would you say it? His deep ball route tree, I suppose, is pretty darn good. I don't know what it is about his ball skills. This dude just doesn't want to make catches away from his body. And he only, like, through his career, it was like a 5% drop rate, which is really good. But like, you just see some of those drops that he did have, and it's like I think he has ball skill issues, but I don't have analytical proof.
He's Eric Ebron as a wide receiver.
Oh, man.
Oh, it brings us nightmares over here. We can't stand Panhan. Oh, my God. Here we go. Defensive line again in the first 3 rounds. Edge for sure, Chris. I think we go edge. I don't know about defensive tackle. I think if they go DT, that'll be more of a 5th, 6th, 7th round, just kind of a value pick at that point. Go BPA. When you're talking about that, you're looking at just a player who you feel can help out. I just don't believe going Levi last year and Aleem McNeil that they go another defensive tackle that early. And they could shock me, but it's hard for me to believe that. Now, I seen one that was specifically to you. Let me see if I can. Broshmo, how many linebackers do the Lions draft? Love Chenal. What do you think about other Georgia linebackers, Quay Walker and Channing Tindall?
Yeah, Walker's pretty nice. He's a guy that's I've shot up at my board a bit recently. The dude's got good length. He's just a good football player. Like, I feel like on that Georgia defense, he just wasn't. it was hard. It was hard for him to have a spotlight just because there were so many good players, but he was always solid. I think he's going to be a guy that does better in the NFL. Good size, tested out well. With Tyndall, dude's rangy. The dude is a sideline to sideline freak. I don't think he's going to be. I think if you're going to best utilize him, it's going to be like as his blitz and will, because the guy really comes in fierce. One of my favorite matchups at the Senior Bowl was the pass protection drills where he took on Brian Robinson one-on-one, and Robinson took his head off, but he didn't stay with the play, and Tyndall basically just turned around, got to the quarterback. I love this guy. This guy's got a motor. I think he's probably gonna like sneak into the third round. I say sneak because I'd be willing to take him a second round, but I think realistically he goes in the third round. Either guy, it really depends on what you're looking for. Linebacker, it's like pick your flavor.
And we need a lot of flavor over here because right now it's not even close to Flava Flav. Would you trade our second overall pick and Cephas to the 49ers for Deebo Samuel in the first round pick and then pay Deebo $40 million per year on a 3-year contract? No. I believe in just go ahead and drafting our wide receivers. Right now, we are in a year 2 of the rebuild. There is a lot of quality receivers in this year's draft. Last year, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. This year is a deep one as well. You can get quality receivers at 32, 34, at 66, even at 99. That is exactly what we're looking for, is to get value. And the wide receivers, the market of paying these guys right now is insane. Insane. I mean, we got the Dolphins fan here. Tyreek Hill just got paid. Do you want to kill our franchise with doing that in a year 2? Maybe in a year 3, year 4, where you're more competing for a playoff spot, but we're not at that spot right now. Would you make a trade like that?
No, and I'm not paying Deebo 40 a year. He's a guy that's like had injuries recently. I don't even think he played all 16 or 17, whatever games we have now, last season. And you got to wonder, like, is a role like his, is that going to be viable for your offense? Or is that something that's like just works in Shanahan's, you know?
Yeah.
So I get why he wants to be paid. I mean, who doesn't? But
yeah,
man, it's really hard to justify even just $25 million a year for Deebo. It really is.
And it's difficult. You know, I seen these wide receivers get paid like this. When I seen what Jacksonville did in free agency, it just shot me in the face. Is how are we going to be able to get wide receivers now when you're paying these type of contracts out to who I don't think's even a number 1 there, Christian Kirk? And then we kept seeing it go on. So I'm not in that mode. I think we just need to draft our guys. Thoughts on Christopher Allen, edge from Alabama? I had him in my latest mock draft, a later round pick. I think he could be a developmental guy. It's just we haven't seen a whole lot from him last year. What do you think about Allen?
Yeah, I'll never forget. He hurt himself on a sack against the Hurricanes, and I was doing a watch-along on that game. It was great. Just got railroaded by Bama. But, yeah, no, I was really thinking this dude was going to have a breakout year this year. I actually just talked about him, I think, earlier this week in one of my sleeper videos. Just I think he's a name that's probably going to slide mid to late day 3. Yeah. He's a bit undersized at like 241. But he hits that 33-inch threshold you like to see with your arm length. Unable to test out because still recovering from the fractured foot. But I really thought he was going to be a guy that would break out. He was used very heavily in the rotation the year before. I think he had like 6 sacks, or maybe I think it was like 36 pressures, 6 sacks, something like that. But yeah, no, I think he's going to be good. But yeah, it's a guy you have to develop and a guy you kind of have to have a role for, being a bit undersized.
$10 super chat, and thank you for the super chat there, the $1.99. But we got $10 here from Travis. I know you've talked about DeMarvin Leal quite a bit. What do you think about him going to Detroit? I don't think he'd be there at 32, but you've talked about this prospect a lot. What is your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he'll really fit into Detroit's defense per se, but he's a guy that he has to. Sorry,
hey,
my dog apparently
man,
has an opinion on
here.
it. Yeah, I know he's not a big Leal fan apparently, but Leal. All right, I'm gonna kick you out, buddy.
That was special guest dog there.
He's the resident Kansas City Chiefs fan on my channel, man. He's always got an opinion. He's a bandwagon fan.
Nice.
But DeMarvin Leal, man, coming in this year, I loved him. The dude's got great movement skills, but he's a tweener. Came out 283, and unfortunately, he just didn't test like a tweener at the combine. It was an off year this year. I think he put on a little bit of bad weight as they started to move him more inside, and you could see him really struggle against guards and double teams. So at the end of the day, man, I think he's a guy that's going to have to play edge in the NFL. So I don't think it'd be a good fit for the Lions.
$5 super chat for one of my good buddies. He's up there with Broshmo and Tom Downing prospects. That's Raw Detroit. He also has New Era Sports. This guy is very good. You got to check him out, bro, man. This is my buddy. He played at a significant level in college as a running back. He says, Broshmo, do you think the Lions have an impact player on the roster currently, or do they need to draft one in this year's draft? You have impact players in the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, impact player. I mean, you got weapons galore. You got speed over there. We don't really have a whole lot, but do you think that we need these type of impact players?
When it comes to your playmakers, really variety, I think works best in the NFL than rather just having that solo star. Oh, look at Gojo trying to make it another appearance. But yeah, rather than having that one main impact player, because I mean, if you look at how did that work for like Aaron Rodgers, he had Adams, but he didn't have he couldn't really rely on Lazard, couldn't rely on MVS. Oh, see, Gojo, he's spoiled. He's like, what about Tyreek Hill, man?
Hey, folks, give a like to your dog there. Put a like for like button. What's the name? Let's do a shout out to the dog right now.
Gojo. Yeah, we're going to get Gojo merch on the channel soon.
Gojo merch. Make sure you give a shout out to Gojo in the chat. Say Gojo to the dog here. Special guest killing it right now on the podcast. We love Gojo.
Hey, he's a little attention hog, man.
It's like my kids,
but
man,
yeah, I think it really does. Oh, you tell me. I got one on the way, and then already one. I guess already here. But yeah, no, it comes down to just I think the variety is much better. Having a bunch of guys that can do a lot of different things, I think is really the best way to go. It's like I think that's worked really for the Bills. You could say, oh, Stephon Diggs, he does so much, but it's like, he's that crafty route runner, enables other guys. Like you got Gabriel Davis, who's just this phenomenal deep threat. Cole Beasley, when healthy, was that solid, like just that chain mover. Even Emmanuel Sanders just offered a little bit of everything. I think if you have variety, you don't need that superstar. You got to be hunting for that superstar at quarterback, honestly, at the end of the day.
Here we go, Steelers. Thank you for the super chat there, Black Yellow Texas Steel. I appreciate it, man. I'm not a Steelers fan, but hey, they're in AFC, so I have no problem with them going good. You may, guys, get Malik Willis. Seems like that's a perfect fit over there for Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin there. So let's see, $10 super chat. What do you guys think about wide receiver David Bell to the Lions? Before the NFL Combine, I thought, this could be a option.
All right, know where you're going.
And then he ran. I think he fought quite a bit.
Or walked.